We cried our eyes out on that shot.
Yes, we did.
The people making these movies are those comic book nerds that understand this entire world.
Avengers!
Assemble. Avengers was 3 years of nuts. It was 3 years of craziness.
Whose idea was it to put Winter Soldier with the shield?
Mine. That was all done 20 minutes before we shot it.
You made that up 20 minutes before you shot it?
Yes.
Yo, happy Saturday, guys. We are back on the couch as Stuntmen Reacts, and we got our boy, James Young here, who is gonna give us a special Marvel edition. That's right, Marvel. We're talking all the films he's done from Winter Soldier to Endgame. James, tell them about yourself, man.
Hey everyone, my name is James. I am a second unit director, action designer, and coordinator for film. I started on YouTube back with £1,000, some of our good friends, and I was lucky enough in 2013 to do a little indie movie called Captain America Winter Soldier. And ever since then, I've been on this train that just doesn't stop. I've doubled a lot of the characters. I doubled for Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, I've doubled War Machine, Iron Man, a lot of the bad guys from Avengers. So yeah, I've been at the heart of the design for the last 10, 12 years. So I think I can give you some insight as to what's going on.
He's downplaying it. Check this out.
Really
this
downplaying
man
it.
has really changed the action that you love right now, and we're gonna watch a bunch of clips, and he's gonna break down exactly how he got you guys so hooked. So hooked. Check it out.
Well, let's just jump right in.
This was when Scarlett took a nice little clack. That's a tough hit for Scarlett to do.
Yeah, for real.
Running down on the knees, had a little pad down. There's me.
Oh, surprise.
That's you, huh?
Yeah. Really broke my fist there.
Oh wow, you're in a lot of this, huh? Why is it you in so much of this? Like, I feel like as an actor, I would be like, heck yeah, I get to do a fight scene, you know?
Okay. No, it's a very, very, very valid point. So say Sebastian breaks his arm.
Yeah? I guess then you shut down the whole movie.
Exactly. It's insurance at the end of the day. I mean, the actors will absolutely perform a lot of this, but at the end of the day, if Chris gets hit or Chris goes down, production goes down. We're dealing with, hyper violence here. We want to keep him as safe as possible, and that's our job, is to go as close to the line as possible in the safest way. But usually as well, I mean, with the way that we're shooting so quickly, I mean, a lot of these shots are the back of heads, So while I'm doing a shot here, Seb is on the other unit blowing up cars. So we kind of interchanged back and forth. It's a way to get a lot of coverage done in 6 days. This was actually the first thing we shot in the street, was me fighting Chris. So it was bananas. Like the first time I'm ever in costume, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna do the knife flip. Okay. Don't drop the knife. Okay.
Did you drop the knife ever?
The knife flip was a bit of an interesting thing because you don't really want to flip a knife in combat.
Right.
If you drop it, you're holding production up. So no, I dropped it, I think, once on the day, but we did, I think, 3 or 4 takes and then moved on to other angles. But it's funny to me that people get so enamored with it.
They love it.
Yeah, it's a really iconic shot.
Coming up with certain little character things that, help. People see the knife flip and, oh shit, it's Bucky. So you got building character. It's a character and story thing.
Speaking of character,
Yes.
James, you're a big nerd. I want you guys to understand that James is a nerd. He's like me, he's like Niko, he's like you guys probably watching this right now. So being a nerd, right, and you now are working on this Marvel film and you're designing this fight, whose idea was it to put Winter Soldier with the shield?
Mine. That shot right there was my idea. Like, in terms of, the first thing you got to remember is, like, you're building characters. So I treat it like a cyborg. What's his prime directive? You're trying to kill Captain America. Okay, so if I'm trying to kill Captain America, you've done your research. What's Cap's biggest weapon? His shield. There you go. You take the shield away from Cap, it's a big thing. But the biggest thing for me was, you go through all the history of Bucky and Cap, you know that eventually Bucky became Captain America. So to me, that was what this was about.
Right.
Stripping him, Sam does the side flip, punch him back, you get that one shot to show the future.
I remember it being a really big moment in the theater, seeing Bucky with the shield.
Yeah.
The fans were like, oh!
But it's part of Bucky's character. That shield has always been a part of his life. It's Steve himself. And it goes into the Falcon and Winter Soldier series with the fact that, the ownership over the shield, but who should have it? Like, Bucky should, but there's too much red. I love what they've done. That shield is so iconic, you have to do something with it.
Right.
The knee, on the day, it was a one and done. And
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so rare.
It is rare. We only had one Bronco. So
okay.
then the hole that you see in the side of the Bronco there was what I just smashed into. Now what we didn't
Is that a
realize-
natural dent? Is that you actually just denting the side of the car with your
Yeah,
body?
it is. I have the pictures. Now, basically all I'm doing is standing there. I just have to open up. You know, the timing is very important for me. Sam is coming at me at full speed. And he's basically just going to get up and scissor his knees, and he's aiming just to put me through that door. My head breaks the window.
Oh, that's a natural head cracking.
Yeah, it was like part of my head, but mainly my shoulder. See, this was 6 days of hell. This was,
Man.
I did more stunt work in this opening sequence I've ever done in my career, and I did it all with a severe injury.
Really?
I separated my shoulder. I tore my bicep, tore my pec, tore my lat, tore my rotator
Dang.
cuff down the middle 2 days before we did.
So that's
the
why you
fight.
have a big metal robot arm.
Yep. Yeah.
In the flying knee, I can tell it's a face replacement for the flying knee shot, and obviously in motion it flies by, you can't tell.
No.
But in the rest of these shots, there's got to be a lot of actual Chris Evans fighting here.
Chris did a lot of this.
Yeah.
Chris is really good with choreography. He's got a tap dancing base. So Chris gets choreography like that. It's so impressive to me as a stunt person to see an actor take 30 beats. I'm not kidding. 30, watch them 2 times and go, can I just change this and this? Yeah, and then he'll do it. It's rare, and that's what's great about Chris. For this, Chris did 2 weeks and then literally, all right, what's the next shot? Okay, Chris, you're gonna learn this whole sequence where we do the knife flip. Okay, 5 minutes later, he's ready to go. We did 3 takes and we moved on.
Wow.
Again, all of this right here, you have to watch how Chris is acting. Look, there's no fear there. That's really hard. Chris has to react to the knife flip.
Right.
There's these small moments in between that he's hitting that, again, the moments in between are what make the fights.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You can have beat 1 to beat 2, but the more detail you program between beat 1 and beat 2, you're subconsciously programming your audience. That sucked, by the way.
Was that onto asphalt?
That was onto a little thin pad like that.
Ooh, high density.
Yeah, high density. I did 6 of them.
Man, how do you not crack the back of your head on the ground every time?
With a suplex like that, the biggest thing for this is just trying to land flat. My arm's coming down there. You see how I'm like that?
Yeah.
Then I can roll over.
Interesting. Because the roll dissipates your momentum and your energy.
Yeah,
And
it does.
Sam holding you by the waist.
Yes.
The fact that he's holding you by the waist allows you the flexibility
It
to
is.
open up and then retract, right?
Yes, it does.
And it's kind of like you're going for a taco, and it's assisted taco.
It
in a
is,
sense.
it is. That's a tough one. But honestly, here's the thing. It's tougher for Sam. Sam is the one literally having to pick up my weight, not over-rotate me. Because if
Right.
Sam goes even further over, I'm coming down on collarbone. So
Exactly.
it's so important. You know, you're dance partners. You got to trust your dance partner. And Sam Hargrave is one of the best dance partners in the industry.
Indeed.
That's why he's directing now.
Right.
Like one of the things I find super cool about stunt work is how much of it is like magic sleight of hand.
Yeah. Right.
In the sense that like we're doing a suplex and because I'm twisted 3 inches to the left, it's not gonna, well, it'll hurt, but it won't be as bad or as hard as an actual impact versus if I was 3 inches to the right. It's all just like that little hand movement that makes the coin disappear.
It is.
All right, so there's a shot at the end of this fight where Aaron Toney, as Falcon, just blasts James, and he tells that story in the extended version of this episode on CorridorDigital.com. That's right, this episode's actually 8 minutes longer over there. You also get a bunch of other cool shows. The shows come out a day early, there's no ads, and there's a 2-week free trial. So go check it out, CorridorDigital.com.
What do we do, Cap? We fight.
You want to talk crazy splash panel stuff? We'll talk about this messy awesomeness. Splash panel is like you're reading your comic and then the fight's about to start, you turn that page and it's a double spread. All the characters come in, it's the big poster shot. That's a splash panel, right? We cried our eyes out on that shot.
Yes, we did.
They had us all line up opposite each other, and on action, we just ran at each other and
And there's my shoulder tackle to James. Sorry, James.
did 4 of those. Guy just literally spear tackled me right in front of the camera. We designed this fight over a long period before we even started physical prep, like actually going in and designing previses. Myself and Sam Hargrave, the coordinators of the movie,
Yeah.
we sat with Kevin, Joe and Anthony, Dan DeLu and Swen, the head of VFX, and we sat down for a week, maybe 2 weeks at first, 6-7 hours a day, at a table with the figurines of the, and it is basically the first week was, all right, let's talk about the team makeups in terms of story, and let's put these guys against each other and come up with a list of hundreds of things that could happen. Like
Yep.
we just came up with a massive amount of lists of what if Natasha fought Cap, and originally she fought him on the roof, and we actually shot the fight.
Yep.
So these teams changed constantly. There's Guy getting hit in the back.
And getting thrown.
Guy, was that your triple kick?
That was my triple kick.
No wires, right? You just...
No, that was wire assisted. That suit was so heavy.
He had the toughest job, I think, for suit-wise out of all of us. The Black Panther suit was a beast of its own origin. That thing is incredible. It looked incredible to look at, but I feel sorry for you. That was 7 layers, and it was pretty much a restriction suit.
Because they built it on a mannequin. The suit is made to be like this. So me lifting any kind of arms or trying to lift my legs or spread them, it was constant battle. It's resistant bands. But, you know, we all worked together. We all made it happen.
That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all.
At the time we did this, we didn't have Spider-Man.
Tom Holland was not there yet.
There was no Spider-Man at all until about a week before we started shooting. Can you imagine then what that does? My favorite moment ever at Marvel is literally, I'm gonna say, all the movies, it was Tom Holland. I was the one in Tom's audition. There was something about him when he walked in. And he walks into our training space and we've got all our cardboard boxes up where we shoot our previews. And at the time we had an air track. An air track is the bouncy little floor that you can do flips on. And Tom looks over at this air track and goes, hey, do you mind if I go flip? I was like, whoa.
Right.
Absolutely not. I was like, I don't know if, he goes, no, I can flip, I swear. But Tom proceeded to do front flash, like a repertoire of the really good basic flip, side flip, front flip, round off flash, round off back top. Like, I'm like, oh shit, he's got it. He goes, cool. He goes, so tomorrow in the audition, he's like, do you think it'd be okay if I flip? And I was like, dude, I was like, listen, I was like, if you flip and fall, that's my career. I can't have you do that. But you are auditioning for Spider-Man, I'll see you later. Right. Literally. So what they did is they had the actors come in the Spidey underwear suit, the one he wears in the first movie. They did this whole sequence of hey, that shield doesn't obey the laws of physics at all. Like, they did the whole thing. Right?
Did they do it with the actors?
With Chris.
Oh, really?
Chris came in
wow.
on his day off. Tom goes, hey, Joe, would you mind if I take my own entrance? And I just feel Kevin, Joe, and all of them just go, to me. And Tom Holland proceeds to skip in and throw the most perfect side flip, literally straight past Chris Evans, lands on his mark, goes, hey Cap, how you doing? Spins around, goes, you like my suit? All you heard was jaws, boom, 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 boom. I got goosebumps and tears in my eyes, and you could see, and I even think Joe was like, holy fuck. This kid just came in and just, that's Peter Parker. That's Peter Parker. There's no other way about it. So to see him come in and do that and literally leave the heads of studios with their mouth on the floor, it was one of the most special things I've ever witnessed. And then to finally design the Cap and Spidey fight. The Spidey fight is so much fun. What I love about it is the way we played Spidey and Tom in the first is that it's raw talent. There's no technique. He's raw. This kid has watched professional wrestling. Like, it's so raw for him to be doing this stuff. And I love the way that Tom and Marvin would perform things a little bit out of control, a little bit off edge. He's learning. The biggest thing for this fight was to make sure that every character had a moment. That was the biggest thing, was everyone has to get a little win. But it was a long design, it was a lot of redos because you give one person a win over another, what does it do to the story? So it was a hard balance to find. Right. But then again, what's fitting the story, where are we going? Like, it's a big puzzle piece.
Like, this is a movie that has to happen at some point around this fight scene.
Yeah. Exactly. But that's the thing, we get heavily into it. So it's good to have directors saying, hang on, that's not the story. This whole sequence was really fun for us, but we died.
Good times.
So, and then, then led into the final battle. This final fight is actually interesting because we did a big previs for it, but then I think sets changed, or locations on sets changed, days changed, as they always do. So what you see is once they start going hand-to-hand combat down in the silo, that was all done 20 minutes before we shot it.
You made that up 20 minutes before you shot it?
Yes. Just things happen, it happens. You can plan everything, but it's a movie set. Multiple things can happen. Someone's not available. This story, new idea, new set. Well, you better be good at,
It's all about adapting.
So that suit is rough.
Which suit? The Captain America suit?
No, the Iron Man.
No. Oh, wait, you mean the
suit.
Iron Man suit's not CG?
No. It's a mix. It's a mix. This was the last time we actually used a real kind of suit. So what I've got on here...
Wait, you were Iron Man?
Yes.
That's cool.
Iron Man. I'm Iron Man. Yeah.
That's neat. Pretty cool.
Yeah. The suit itself is like American football pads, and it is the Iron Man suit. It's got the light in the chest. The helmet is the real helmet with the lights in it. From waist below, I'm in red fleecy pajamas. And you know, the digital markers on my knees. But the first time we did it, I had the helmet on. I do a few takes with the helmet on for reference and take it off. It was a real fun fight for me.
It's such a cool sequence.
Thank you. We call it Piggy in the Middle. What you got to look at here, though, is there's 4 people in this fight. Count the 4 people.
I'm gonna guess it's the 3 main characters and the Shield.
Yep.
Ooh.
The Shield's not there. So during this fight, I'm not only having to fight Seb and Chris, but I'm having to track where the imaginary Shield goes. So there's times when I'm hitting, I'll try and look back, hit the Shield, getting kicked. I'm just getting assaulted on all angles. So yeah, this was all basically just the beatdown, because Robert and Chris had all this story they wanted to. So hey, let's craft it with that violence. Let's push it as far as we can go. And I think what you get at the end of the day is great. We talk about Robert.
Oh.
Robert's an entity. Robert's a god.
He is so good.
He's so brilliant at what he does. Like, Robert is a martial artist as well, so he can come. Yeah, he does Wing Chun.
Right.
Wing Chun, for people that don't know, is a Chinese martial art that is actually the nucleus and base of Jeet Kune Do, which is Bruce Lee's martial art.
What constitutes like the main moves of Wing Chun?
So a lot of Wing Chun is a lot of down the center line, and there's a lot of no circular movement essentially. So like the idea is attacking the center line. The idea is I'm just going right down the middle, and if anything comes from the outside, I'm hitting, I'm trapping, I'm doing all kinds of way to immobilize your hands.
Yes.
That's the way that you're trying to do. So Robert works really well with that. You can see it in the scene in the cafeteria where he does the watch. He actually does a little bit of Wing Chun in there.
Okay.
So that's Robert. You know, biggest thing for your actor is do what they're great at.
Right.
Right. You don't want to go, hey, look, you're a great Wing Chun fighter. Here's some wushu. It's a completely different style. So you keep it into what the base is. And when I designed for Iron Man on these movies, I would meet Robert, and he would always want to incorporate some of that. So take all my notes, and we always try and incorporate that into the Iron Man aspect, because he's the heart of it.
Yep.
It's a bummer we won't get to see him there anymore, but man, he gave us the innings.
Oh man.
He gave us it all, didn't he?
I love hard hits and stunts. If you guys know of some really hard hits, please leave them in a comment below so we can pull out the scenes and look at them exactly and get an understanding as to just how hard those hits were from the pros on this couch. So please leave a comment.
So it's really cool when you think about how Civil War kind of sets us up for the even bigger hero. Avengers 1 and 2, you get maybe 6 superheroes all sharing the screen. Civil War, you have to share it with 9 to 10. Now we have to get to Avengers Infinity War Endgame, where you're sharing it with the whole cinematic universe that we have up to this moment. And you guys still found a way to juggle the idea of we need to give each of these guys their moment.
It's a hard one because you're going into this, all right, we've built up 15 years of this.
Right.
Cap is going to fight the big bad. I call it Cap's salvo or Cap's endgame, and that's when he gets the hammer. We shot multiple reveals of the hammer as well. We shot it coming off the ground. We shot different ideas, and of course, the one that's in the movie is so much fun. Just the hammer lifting up. But the question is then, as an action designer, I think as an action team, is how do you give Cap the hammer and do something cool, crazy?
Right.
Like, well, what are you gonna do? Just swing it? What we wanted to do was kind of give you everything. And it's the whole idea of foreshadowing. You watch Cap go at him with the hammer. Every one of those moves Cap has done before. Everything there is a story piece. You've seen it before. It's so that was the idea. They were trying to give something impactful. It was difficult, but it's
crazy.
Well.
Like just the amount of detail and thought. It's not just a throwaway punch, here's a cool move. It's like every move is character development.
Massive big ups to Justin Eaton and Danny Hernandez here. Justin was our Captain America and Danny was our Thanos. So yeah, Justin did all this in one. The whole combo was really impressive. But yeah, man, Avengers was 3 years of nuts. It was 3 years of craziness. Different style of movies to make than the Captain America movies. You know, you're more space, there's bigger stakes, there's a lot more big stuff. There's not like little pilly hand-to-hand combat when one of your characters can literally cleave a guy in two. You treat this movie less like an actual movie, more like an anime. It's really different for action. It's like almost abstract. Because you're not thinking about punches, you're thinking about these abilities, and it's way up there. Like crafting a fight of hand-to-hand combat, easy. Easy. Crafting a fight with only Hadouken, Shurikens, and Tetsumaki Senpyakus, that's hard.
Right.
Right? So that's the idea. That's the idea.
The vast majority of people, I feel like, are watching all the Marvel movies as just movies, right? But then there's a smaller sliver that's read all the comic books and understands the context within the whole comic world that these movies are coming out in. And there's so much more nuance in these films for that comic book crowd. I'm constantly surprised by how much there is.
Yeah.
So I'm always assuming it's just like, oh, there's just Disney making movies. It's like, no, like the people making these movies are those comic book nerds that understand this entire world. And they're making it just for that group first, and then everybody else gets to watch it second.
Kevin's the head of it. Like, his mind is incredible. He knows everything about these when it all connects. He's the mastermind. He's the Thanos. It's incredible what he's done. It's groundbreaking.
There's people out there who are like, they talk about superhero movie fatigue, and it's just another Marvel film. But I think like we really take it for granted that these films exist.
Yeah.
And these are the pinnacles of execution when it comes to like cinema.
it's crazy.
The action, the visual effects, the storytelling, the writing, the production, the coordination, and the engineering and the problem solving that goes into these. Like, it is hundreds of the people that are the best of the best in the world coming together to make these. Yeah. And it's cool if you don't like it. Everybody has the things they don't like, but it's definitely important to acknowledge like that these are truly like achievements in cinema.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Movies.
All right, let's play a little game. I'm going to say something, and if you've done it, you have to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Have you seen a Marvel film?
Yes!
You got him.
Boom! Everybody subscribed. All right, job over. James, it's been an absolute treat to have you join us on the couch.
Thanks, man.
I'm sad that this is ending, and I'm sure all of the watchers, the audience is sad that this is ending, but if they wanted to see more of your works and behind the scenes or keep up with you, where could they do that?
Hit me up on Instagram, at JU10. I'm pushing more stuff out on it now. I'm going to be putting up more behind the scenes stuff from not only my Marvel days, but from my new stuff I'm doing with Netflix, like The Grey Man and stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned. He'll be there.
I love behind the scenes posted to Instagram. Like every stunt breakdown is like, in a way, it grips me more than the movies themselves because it's so real and so raw. I love it.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you can probably get through the other 7 Marvel movies I did.
Yeah.
We've only scratched the
We
surface.
only scratched 2 or 3 of them. So,
Yeah, we did like a Black Widow.
Gosh, Black Widow, Guardians 2, Avengers 2, Avengers 3, Avengers 4,
Guardians 1.
1, Cap 1, all there.
All there.
On Disney Plus.
That's it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for joining us.